Alright everyone, welcome back. Damn this height difference. If I were another head taller, I would have lost face in that misunderstanding. Even walking beside her is just...
そろそろシローも首元が隠れるような暖かい服を着てはどうです？先ほどから吸血跡が目についえ、涼しくなってきましたね。
What were you trying to say? Hearing those words coming from so far above makes me feel like a kindergartner being spoken to by a teacher. The height difference is weighing on my mind whether I like it or not. So he didn't pick up on the fact that she was actually sucking his blood during off hours?
ライダー、背高いよな。
はい。
いや、羨ましいんだ。俺ももう少し背が高ければって思ってるし。モデルみたいに凛々しいし、いるだけで人の目を引きつける魅力もあるじゃんか。
しかし可愛くはありません。
Cute.
それには小柄であることが前提です。私にはどうしようもない。
True, cute tends to be used to praise something small and delicate, and Ryder has just the opposite qualities.
可愛いって思われたかったんだ。
What would a cute Ryder look like? Clutching a plushie that she always talks to? Playing video games and getting so absorbed in them that she'd move along with the character sitting her head on the coffee table and knocking herself out? Peeking at the teachers that Issei shared with me saying, "Foo, what shall we do with these, Shiro?" And grinning ear to ear? I think all those positions are already filled. People yearn for what they do not have, and apparently even Ryder, who looks like a faultless beauty to me, is no exception.
けど、そればかりは仕方がないよな。そうだ、逆にさ、背が高くて得したことは？
あまりないですね。
例えば商店の一番上の棚にも手が届くとか、人混みの中で待ち合わせの時目印になるとか。
不利益と差し引きすればマイナスだと断言できます。
不利益？
What are the disadvantages? She has a pensive, melancholic look as if she is deep in thought. Looking up at her, I get the impression that she's really distressed on the inside. Perhaps there's lots of filth I end up not seeing due to my height, but Ryder has in plain view. Even so, I'm still envious of tall people. They can forget the minor stuff and let their feelings become grand. Yeah, that's right. Climbing up to a high place makes you feel so grand that you just want to yell at the top of your lungs. Isn't that nice, being up high by virtue of being so tall?
ヤッホー。
Don't go around yelling yoo-hoo at my age. Nobody in their right mind, that's for sure.
違う、このヤッホーは。
Wow. Ilya! Come from high up, watch out! Flying, falling. That is an inevitable law of physics and not even Ilya is above it. However, why is it that creatures that cannot fly in the sky always try to do so? The real reason might be that falling is more fun than flying. She dives, keeping herself in a basic arch stance, and I execute a perfect catch. But couldn't cancel out the kinetic energy. In my rush to protect Ilya, I end up tumbling magnificently to the ground.
いたずらが過ぎるぞ。
Ilya seems to be alright. Although my now battered body is another story.
たく、ここにはガラクタが山ほどあって危ないんだからな。崩れてきたら怪我どころじゃ済まないんだぞ。
That's why I want to be taller. I could have caught her easily just now.
シローは心配性なんだから。
I stiffened, thinking she may have gotten caught on something. I looked back. The bicycle rider was pushing has fallen down. Rider has frozen stiff, her arms held out in the air as if still holding the handlebars.
ライダー
She doesn't even notice that the bicycle is down. I look over at her to see what might be wrong and realize that the pupils in her eyes behind her mystic eye-killing glasses aren't focusing.
ライダーどうかしたのか
はい、姉様。
Whoa. That's some powerful trauma. So, I was her elder sister. Come to think of it, every time Ryder's with me, she's always considerate, stepping aside and acting with particular respect. Honestly, I don't mind their reserved demeanor, but I had been struggling to find the words to describe the kind of distance between us. I see. So I was her elder sister. Like hell I am.
いえ、何でもありません、シロ。どうか今のはなかったことにしてください。
Ryder looks around awkwardly. She's behaving really suspiciously.
そう、自転車の調子が悪いので見ていただきたいと。どこか緩んでいるのか、手で押さえていてもこの通り少しぐらついて心もとないのです。これまでユラクのまま手荒に扱いすぎたせいでしょうが、一つシローの手で修復をお願いします。
ああ、それはさっき聞いた。そしてそれは自転車じゃなくて猫の大好き空間スリルキャットタワー。猫が登ったり爪を研いだり用を足したりする万能ジャングルジムで、藤姉がどこからか拾ってきていつの間にか勝手にここに置いていったやつ。
The bike is still down there. Oh, come on, Ilya. As if to break through the awkward silence, the white one dives again. I can't take my eyes off this little berserker for an instant. This time, the comment is heading straight for Ryder.
ライダー頼む。
はい。
She'll be fine. With her tall stature and supernatural strength, she can catch Ilya easily. How nice it is to be tall. Look, she doesn't even flinch after catching Ilya. She doesn't flinch, but...
なんで
Dumbstruck, Ryder has turned to a statue. Oh god.
ライダー
ライダー怖がってる。やー
What did her sisters do to her? Ryder, of all people, is shrieking in terror, all the while attempting to shake off Ilya, who is clinging onto her. There's some serious psychological issues at play here, no doubt.
ダメ、シロ、早く取ってください。
失礼ね。フロイラインを毛虫みたいに扱うなんて。そんなこと言うライダーにはこうしちゃうんだから。
Hugging her neck, Ilya rubs her cheek against Ryder's face. What a strange reaction. Don't tell me there are secrets to Ryder which we are not yet aware of. Obviously so, because there are indeed. Now, let us tell the tale of a distant foreign country. It is a dark tale tainted with fresh blood. The story of a female monster that mere mention of which makes one tremble in fear. The legend of Medusa. Oh, here we go. It takes place in a foreign land, known as a Shapeless Isle. A faraway island that lies beyond the Okeanos. Known to no one but the three Grey Witches. The Grey. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It is said that the fallen goddess that transformed into the terrible Gorgon lived there. Many warriors reached this temple shrouded in mystery. Some went to confirm the legend of the Gorgon. Others went to claim the glory of slaying the Gorgon. Some were dispatched to the island with an oracle's dazzling prophecy. Yet others equipped themselves with swords, spears, bows, and arrows, and traveled there with nary a word spoken to anyone else. Yet none of them still breathed. Not a single one escaped the island alive. They did not die and return to the earth either. Turned to stone alive, their lives simply ended there. The owner of Cybele, the mystic eyes of petrification, walks through the temple. Her hair is like silk of the Far East, and her skin is white like freshly fallen snow. And yet, she is drier than the desert of Nubia, and more vicious than a sandstorm. She gazes at the stone statues of the petrified heroes, taking special notice of one of them. The statue of a huge man carrying a spear. His bulging sinews remind her of the great physical strength he had while he was still alive. As the temple's queen looks over the stone figure, her lips curve slightly. She raises her strange-looking dagger overhead in front of the pitiful man. Pulling the chain attached to the double-edged dagger now sticking out from the statue, she wraps it around another statue. Standing in front of the chain now stretched between the two figures, she bends down to the basket at her feet and picks up a heap of laundry.
Oh. これかわいい
Wasn't expecting that. In the basket are a multitude of clothes made from expensive silk and linen, decorated with laces and ribbons. She washes them all diligently, rinsing in the river and then hanging them up on the chains one by one. Stoically, she labors on. The moment it falls into her hands, a spear turns into a clothesline, a sword into a hanger, and a helmet into a shoe-drying rack. Thus, having finished hanging up the laundry, she notices a single statue casting a shadow on the clothes and proceeds to kick it down. Her work is finally completed. The owner of the mystic eyes looks at the statue scattered throughout the temple.
今日は誰も来ないといいな
She sighs listlessly.
さてと一休み一休み
She sits down on the statue of a man trying to crawl away to escape. Under the pleasantly warm sunlight, a dry wind breezes through her hair and the laundry.
ちょっと洗濯物が溜まっちゃったけど久しぶりにいいお天気でよかった
Bathed by the rays of sunlight, she gazes at the sun absent-mindedly. Right now, she is neither a goddess worshipped by many, nor a monster which shakes the earth, but a young woman enjoying the tranquility.
見つけたメデューサ
Suddenly, a voice filled with anger echoes in the temple. Not that this is a rare occurrence in this island. Seeking the glory of exterminating the snake witch, many people came day and night to kill her. As a result, it seems that there will be one more clothes hanger to join the cemetery of bizarre stone statues. Why am I seeing such an out-of-character response or behavior from Ryder? She's crying! However, the owner of the mystic eyes, who was supposed to smack her lips at her new sacrifice, cowers as if meeting the end of the world.
信じられないどうしてこんな
Appearing on the top of the stairs, overlooking the forest of stone statues, is only a single girl in a dazzling outfit. I'm guessing her sister.
あなたはなんてことをだって洗濯物を干すのにその錆臭い鎖は使うなとあれほど言ったじゃないの。お許しください姉様便利なものでつい
She's the elder sister?
お黙りなさいああもう私の端正だった服に鎖の凹凸の跡がついて台無しじゃないでかいあなたがバカ力で力任せにこするから汚れだけでなく神聖まで落としていいこと？私の体を飾る衣装はあなたの粗雑な服とは違うのです 大柄だからってやることなすことずさんなんだから。
はい、申し訳ございません。
それに私の靴、あんなブサイクな男の上に乗せるなんてどういうこと？お気に入りの靴だったのに、あれじゃあ汚らわしくてもう履けないわ。大女総見に知恵が回りかねと言うけれど、あなたと来たら品位や美意識まで欠けているようね。
Okay, now we're getting into the undercurrent of the trauma. This older sister is very, I wouldn't say she's abusive, but she's just very strict with the writer here.
はい、返す言葉もございません。
その服は陰干ししなきゃダメじゃない。焦っちゃってる。もう洗濯一つ満足にできないどころか、服を全部ダメにしちゃうなんて信じられない。あなたは究極の疫病神なの？それとも最高の役立たずなの？どうなの？答えなさい、ダメデューサ。
Medusa useless.
それは姉様、次は気をつけますから。
まだわからないようね。あなたに次なんてないのよ。もう私は明日から何を着ればいいの？あなたみたいに裸同然のハレンチな格好で過ごせというの？
でもこの服は姉様たちの。
何よ、文句あるの？あなたには私たちの余り物で十分でしょうに。
This beautiful woman was told off completely by a girl with a height lower than her chest. It might have looked charming to an observer, but sadly, there's nobody there to watch it but wordless stone statues now.
まったくどれもこれも醜いわ。女の気を引きたがるような下びた顔ばっかりで、もう眺めが最悪。男はこんな顔するようになったらおしまいね。
はあ、
これからは美形の男だけ石にしなさい。鑑賞価値のないここの石像は全部砕いて片付けること。今晩までに。
そんな、だってこんなにあるのに。
姉の私がやれと言ったらやるのよ。あなたは妹。この島では奴隷以下の存在なんだから。あとこの前みたいに手を抜いてベルレフォンで石像を一掃するなんてのはダメよ。そんなことしたら神殿まで焼け焦げちゃうでしょ。まったくバレなければいいだなんて誰に言ったのかしら。
姉様だと思うけど。
聞こえたわよ、メデューサ。信じられない。さっきあなたは奴隷以下だと断ったばかりなのに、それをもう忘れて姉に反乱を起こすなんて。
そこまでは。
やっぱり物覚えの悪いあなたには絶対霊獣の態度を体で教えてあげなきゃわからないかしら。逃げるなんて許さないわよ、メデューサ。
Shaking off the restraining voice of her pursuer, the owner of the mystic eyes dashes off at full speed. She's heading for the stable. There resides her Pegasus, a gift from the god of the sea, Poseidon. She needs to get on the winged specimen of a phantasmal species and escape to the skies for a while, far away from the reach of her sister's hands. Then she just has to pray that her sister's mood would change before she returns.
そうすると掃除と食事の用意が。でもあのままだったらお仕置きされて結局できないし。はあ。
She laments while fleeing away. Thanks to her long legs, her sister couldn't catch up to her on foot. She felt gloomy at the thought that this was the only time that she was thankful for her tall stature.
私も姉様みたいに可愛ければいいのに。
She opens the door of the stable, but... Oh no. The owner of the Mystic Eye stands still in shock.
姉様どうしてこちらに？
The girl holding the reins to Pegasus laughs lightly.
あら、ごめんなさいね、メドゥーサ。ちょうど遠乗りから帰ってきたばかりで、この子は疲れ切っています。私はともかく、あなたのように大きくて重たい乗り手はもう乗せられないでしょうね。
そんな、今日は朝から休ませてあげるって。
島の外に出たいの？それなら泳いでいけばいいでしょ。あなたの肥えた体なら水によく浮きますもの。
Man, this older sister just keeps berating her non-stop, huh?
いいですか？持ち主として注意しますが、今日はこの子を使ってはいけません。
だってその子は私がいただいて。
困ったメドゥーサね。妹のものは姉のもの、姉のものは姉のものだと何と言えばわかるのでしょう。ほんとすぐ楽して私の天まで出かけようとするのはおやめなさい。悲しいわ。その物臭なところは一体誰に似たのかしら。
ああ、
聞こえましたよ、メドゥーサ。仕方ありませんね。私も本意ではありませんが、妹が姉に背くとどうなるか体で教えて差し上げます。
今度は何も言ってません。ごめんなさい。
The owner cannot help but dart out of the stable. However...
あら、私のところに戻ってくるなんて、姑息なあなたにしては殊勝な心がけね。
下姉様。
あら、私がメドゥーサを捕まえてくださったの？
上姉様。
Wait, they're twins? This will require some explanation. The two girls giving Medusa a hard time, each one the spitting image of the other. These two are in fact Medusa's older sisters. The eldest one is Steno, the Strong. The younger one is Euryale, the Far Fleer, or the Far Flyer. Finally, the youngest and tallest alike yet different is Medusa, the woman that dominates. These three lovely ladies were the infamous Gorgon sisters. Exiled to the Shapeless Isle, turning one brave man after another into stone, they were prominent monsters even in the world of Greece. However, as a side note to avoid any misunderstanding, it was only the youngest sister, Medusa, who struck fear into the hearts of heroes. That is to say, the two older sisters could not boast of any fighting prowess at all. Or rather, while they had been acquiring the entirely different ill reputation than Medusa, her sisters were revered as goddesses by the nearby men. Originally, they were ancient indigenous gods of Greece. Nevertheless, jealous of their beauty, the goddess Athena took away their faith from the people and exiled them to the Shapeless Isle. Although only Medusa alone received Athena's ire out of the care for their younger sister, and siblings accompanied her to the isle as well. Since then, rumors about them being monsters started circulating amongst people. However, a rumor is still only a rumor. They did not become monsters and merely continued to spend their days like before. The legendary infamous Medusa aside, the first and second daughters were literally perfected goddesses. The eldest daughter, Steno. A lady with elegant demeanor, overflowing grace, and wisdom in her words and actions. A goddess said to be the ideal woman. It is said that merely hearing one's name escape from her lips is enough to make a man lose his senses over the rapturous feeling, and swear eternal loyalty to her. The second daughter, Euryale. A lady with carefree demeanor, overflowing smile, and the essence of purity in her words and actions. A goddess said to be the ideal girl. It is said that merely hearing one's name escape from her lips is enough to make a man tremble all over with honor, and swear to protect her even at the costs of his life. Unlike Medusa, these two goddesses had neither mystic eyes nor supernatural strength. With merely the power of immortality and eternal youth, they were just weak girls. Athena lied about them, that the reason they would never grow old was because they were monsters. That was false. Different from gods of Olympus who needed to consume the golden apples to stop aging, the sisters, especially Steno and Euryale, were born into the world as idols, completely immortal. Idols, okay, that makes sense. They were embodiment of the yearning hearts of men. Although they would never age, they were the weakest beings in this world. With no power to fight, these immortal girls would starve if left alone. They could not live without help from others. That is the divine essence of these Gorgon sisters. From the moment they were created and up until the moment they are destroyed, they'll remain the same. Except the youngest, who was a failure from birth. The youngest daughter, Medusa. Different from her older sister, she did not have the skills of a perfect goddess. The two older sisters were forever young, but Medusa's immortality was imperfect. As a result, in spite of being the younger sister, Medusa grew older and taller than her sisters, and was revered as a monster different from them altogether. As a side note, one author mentioned that she was a great goddess nevertheless. The Gorgon sisters were the results of the deification of the same natural phenomena. One could call them copies or clones. It could have been a mistake during her birth, or there might have been a deeper significance to it, but the youngest sister Medusa was not copied correctly. The other sisters embodied the concepts of forever young and immortal, yet Medusa received nothing of the sort. Nevertheless, as a compensation, Medusa was endowed with various abilities which her sisters were not. The mystic eyes of petrification, a supernatural ability to interfere with nature, and excellent physical abilities. All of these can be said to be divine powers indispensable in protecting her sisters who couldn't live in this world by themselves. However, it was those physical differences that caused the sisters, once united, to become three different individuals. So they were jealous of her appearance and everything that was different about her, which also made her special. It is not surprising development for Medusa differed from the start, but in the process of interacting with one such sibling, even the two others who were meant to be the same eventually showed slight irregularities. The youngest sister, an expert in combat, and her older sister, who perfected themselves as idols. Unlike Medusa, they liked humans very much. They welcomed the men who visited their island, comforted them, and sent them on a new adventure. Eternal idols. The incarnations of the image of a pure maiden. Idealized never-aging young girls. Twin deities in a class entirely different from that of the haughty goddess with the full curves. That's right. As goddesses whose purpose was just to be loved and spoiled, being cute was their specialty. The ultimate sisters whose beauty would never be matched even by Medusa's best efforts. They are the Snow White goth lowly idol duo. For Steno and Euryale, that was the meaning of their very existence. Well, that's what men observing from afar and oblivious of their true character said of them. The eldest daughter, Steno, a lady with elegant demeanor, overflowing grace, and wisdom in her words and actions. A goddess said to be the ideal woman. It is said that merely hearing one's name escapes from her lips is enough to make a man lose his senses over the rapturous feeling and swear eternal loyalty to her. Why are we repeating this again? However, according to a certain younger sister who wishes to remain anonymous, she would say that Steno was the perfect example of laziness. She had not the slightest interest in things she didn't like. Worse still, the monstrous sister's cruelty towards those she had no interest in would make the watchdogs of hell tremble in fear. The second daughter, Euryale, a lady with carefree demeanor, overflowing smile, and the essence of purity in her words and actions. A guy said to be the ideal girl. It is said that merely hearing one's name escape from her lips is enough to make a man tremble all over with honor, and swear to protect her even at the cost of his life. However, according to a certain younger sister who once again wishes to remain anonymous, she would say that Euryale was the ultimate display of mood swings. On top of that, she was sly as well. If I keep quiet, no one will be mad, and if I don't get caught, then there was nothing wrong. Ho 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 ho. And yet she would just feel a little guilty later. That's the impish cowardly second sister.